You started your business for freedom, didn't you? But now that you're getting successful, does it feel less like freedom and more like you've just built yourself a high-stress job you can't ever escape? You are definitely not alone. It's this crazy paradox of growth that so many entrepreneurs fall into. And today, we're going to tear it down and show you exactly how to fix it. This quote it absolutely nails the problem, right? You wake up one day, you look at your payroll, and you have this sinking feeling that the very team you hired to give you freedom is actually the source of all your chaos. You're just overwhelmed, right? Pulled in a million different directions. That's not a business. That's a trap.
So, how in the world does this even happen? Well, it's something called the overhead nightmare trap, and it all starts with what we call the accidental team. This is what happens when you're hiring people reactively, out of sheer desperation, instead of strategically building a well-oiled machine.
And look, it always starts innocently enough. You're completely swamped with paperwork, so you hire a transaction coordinator. Smart. Then you're drowning in social media and marketing stuff, so you bring on a marketing assistant. Makes sense. Then you can't be at two places at once, so you hire a junior agent, and before you know it, bam, you're shelling out a massive payroll, but there's no real structure, no process, zero clarity.
And this is where the real problem kicks in. It's this great, unprofitable role swap that just quietly kills your business. You, the expert, the deal maker, the rainmaker, you've accidentally demoted yourself to a full-time and, let's be honest, pretty unprofitable office manager.
I mean, just look at the trade-off you're making, probably without even thinking about it. On one hand, you have the high-margin $1,000 an hour work, the stuff that only you can do. And you're swapping it for low-margin $20 an hour work, like answering questions all day and managing calendars. This isn't just inefficient. It is a direct drain on your bottom line.
And let's be super clear about this. The problem isn't your people. They're probably great, and they're trying their best. The problem is the lack of structure. You thought you hired a team, but without a clear map showing who does what, all you've really created is a crowd. And a crowd just creates noise and chaos, not results.
Okay, so how do we fix this mess? The solution is a really simple but incredibly powerful framework. It's called the accountability map. And no, this is not about creating some stiff corporate hierarchy. It's about building a system for total clarity, ownership, and control.
Now pay attention to those last few words. Who owns the result? That is the key. An accountability map goes way beyond a simple job description. It defines the single person who is ultimately on the hook for the outcome of every critical part of your business. See, it's all about ownership, not just tasks.
And this is such a crucial distinction. A traditional org chart, that's all about status and titles, who's above who. And honestly, it usually just creates silos. The accountability map is a totally different game. It's functional. It's about responsibility. It couldn't care less about your title. It cares about who owns the results for marketing, who owns operations, and who owns sales support.
So let's break down the 3 core principles that make this whole thing work. First, the philosophy is simple. Clarity prevents that, oh my God, who's doing this panic. Second, the rule is non-negotiable. One name in each box, period. Because if 2 people are responsible, nobody is responsible. And finally, the rhythm. You have to stop managing by random interruption and start leading in scheduled, focused blocks of time.
And that rhythm, it is so powerful. Just think about this. By putting in place one single structured 15-minute weekly sync meeting, you can literally replace up to 5 hours of time that used to get vaporized by random questions and, hey, you got a sec, interruptions. The ROI on that is just massive.
All right, enough talk. Let's get our hands dirty. I'm going to walk you through a super simple 3-step plan you can use right now to build your own accountability map and start taking back your time and your sanity like today. Seriously, grab a piece of paper or open a doc. Step 1, draw a box at the top. That's you, the CEO or rainmaker. Now, underneath that, draw 3 boxes for the core functions of your business: operations/admin, marketing, and sales support. Step 2, and be brutally honest here, put one and only one name in each box. If a box is empty, guess what? Your name goes in it by default. You have to acknowledge that liability. And step 3, open your calendar right now and schedule a recurring 15-minute weekly sync. Do it.
And here's what a simple version of it looks like. See? You're at the top, the rainmaker. And below, each core function has one clear owner. It's not rocket science. But don't let the simplicity fool you. This visual is incredibly powerful because it shows everyone exactly who's accountable for every key result in the business.
Okay, so what actually happens in that 15-minute meeting? It's a ruthlessly efficient agenda. 3 simple questions. First, what did you get done last week? This is all about accountability. Second, what are your big 3 priorities for this week? This creates focus. And third, and this is your main job as the leader, where are you stuck? Your job is to clear those obstacles so your team can run. No fluff, no tangents, just pure alignment.
You know, to really make this work, it's more than just drawing boxes on a page. It requires a fundamental shift in how you think. You have to stop seeing yourself as someone who just employs people and start seeing yourself as someone who leads a system.
And this is maybe the most important takeaway of this whole thing. We do not build teams to feel important or to have a bigger headcount. We build teams to execute systems. That is the only reason. You bring in talented people to run well-designed systems that produce predictable results.
Let's make this really real for a second. Ask yourself this. If I walked up to anyone on your team right now and asked them, hey, who owns updating the CRM? Would they instantly point to one person, or would they kind of hesitate and say, well, we both kind of do it? That "we" is a killer, because "we" almost always means no one.
Question number 2. Think about your day to day. Seriously, how many times did a Slack message, a text, or a tap on the shoulder pull you out of deep, focused work for something that absolutely was not an emergency? Every single one of those interruptions shattered your focus and cost you at least 15 minutes of flow. You have to stop letting that happen.
And finally, I want you to look at that map you just drew. If your name ended up in the box for operations or admin, that low-margin work we talked about, then you know exactly who you need to fire from that role.
Yourself. Your highest and best use is not in the weeds managing invoices or updating a database. Your job is to lead. Your job is to be the rainmaker. So fire yourself from every single role that you can delegate or automate and get back to building the business you actually set out to create in the first place.